Hello everybody, here we go for the TED Talk number 10. It have been 10 already. This one gonna be with Mr. Icon Sleepy TUTT, a man who dig deep into TUTTs and who have been active for long. So it's a real pleasure to have him on this number 10 interview. The next one will be on Wednesday with Mr. Intricate representing Tech Gods Bay Area. So today we go with Mr. Icon Sleepy Ted. Just waiting for him to connect. So yeah, I've been already 10 interviews. We have been interviewing some tutting poppers, some finger tutting, some turfers, and some flexors. So we have been around all the styles, all that deep into that. Connecting with Mr. Icon right now. Hey, what's up?
What's up?
You good?
Yeah, good. Yeah, we got the kitty. Yeah.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
cool.
sorry about that.
Yeah, no problem. Things happen.
Yeah.
Everything cool?
Everything cool. Yeah, life is good, even though I think things are getting better. Yeah. So I think things are getting better and yeah, I hope things are good with you and over there.
Yeah, things are getting better too. We just have to wait a little bit so I can go back to street shows and things like this, but it's getting better and better. So we're gonna
Good, good.
wait. So for the people who don't know you, just introduce yourself, bro.
Yeah, so my name is Conrad Caxor. My people, as my street dance name or alias is Icon or Icon Sleepy Tut. Let's see, I'm originally from Seattle, Washington, which is the northwest of the USA. So you got California, Oregon, and Washington. Seattle's in Washington. Um, so I've been born and raised there, and I started dancing in 2003, 2004, and it was mostly dancing at raves, like underground parties. So I started with liquid dancing, and I did some like tutting while doing some liquid, but I wasn't really into like I was calling them mostly boxes because I was just doing these ones a lot, and I'll go around and flip it around and do this. So I was doing liquid dancing for a year when I first started doing it, and then in 2004, 2005, I saw a group of dancers. I don't know what style they're doing, but I was super mesmerized. They were just it was like a circle or a cipher at this rave, and they just blew my mind away. And all of them were doing popping, and they're going in and out of the circle. It was very just like, it was like a big show. Everyone, like hundreds of people were watching them dance, and it was like the coolest thing I've ever seen. I was like, you know what? Like, I want to be doing what they're doing. And so, like, I kind of just invited myself and like found these guys and started practicing with them, and then they became like my best friends. And so they were a crew called My Design back then, and so they still are, but like they're not so like active like we were in the
So
mid
when
2000s.
was that? When was
This is
that?
about 2004, 2005.
And where? In your city? In what
Seattle.
city?
In Seattle, yeah.
In Seattle. Oh, Seattle. Okay.
Yeah, and then we had like our own tutting style. We were really into tutting. We There's this guy named Sam who's really, they were just, yeah, we just had some their own concepts, and then we had our friend Geometric, who was friends with Tetris. So we interviewed Tetris. He would like go to LA because he had connections in LA, and then come back to Seattle. And so this is before YouTube, and this is a time where like we were downloading videos off of like Napster, Kazaa. There's a thing called SoulSeek. We shared a lot of videos on there, but everyone was really private with their dance moves. So like the way to get moves was like you got to know the person. And so like he knew Tetris. So like, hey, I got this Tetris from this concept from Tetris, or this guy from LA. And I've never been to LA, so at the time, uh, and so like we were just like kind of figuring out tutting our own style, you know. And so then in 2006, I went to my first popping event. It was B-Boy Summit 2006,
So
and
before that, you was not into popping at all. You was just into tutting. That's right.
yeah, liquid and yeah. So let me rephrase that. So I was into liquid and some tutting, and then when I first saw these guys in 2004, 2005, that circle, I started popping. I'm
Okay.
sorry. Yeah. So I started popping, and popping was my thing. You know, I started wearing hush puppies and like doing the khakis. I was trying to be like the Electric Boogaloos and copy Boogaloo Sam and Pop and Pete, and so I bought all their DVDs and VHS tapes, and I was super into EB style because that was the way of doing it. It was like we were kind of like brainwashed and thinking that like that was the only popping, and so like we're kind of like tutting and trying to do EB style. It was cool. It was a good time. But yeah, then I went to LA in 2006 for a B-Boy Summit, and that's when I met Tetris. And I met all the LA guys like Matic, and I stayed with my buddy Drew, who goes by Graph. He's not so active anymore, but the LA people know who he is. And he was a tutter too. And so he like introduced me to all these amazing dancers, and like it's cool to see like back then I was like start like such a it was so like I was such in a fan mode, like seeing Tetris. Like I was just my mind was blown. I was just like so blown away to see Tetris and like see all the legendary poppers in person. Like seeing Junior Boogaloo, Jay Smooth, Kid Boogie, J Rock. I was like, these are like the top guys of in the world. And so I was just like blown away. And then meeting Wave-O-Matic was the was the key to my whole travels, was like seeing Tetris and seeing Wave-O-Matic. And the reason why was originality, because I was so stuck in EB style popping that Wavo like kind of dissected that sort of style dance out of me and was like, you can be original and still be dope. It's like, okay, so like I can fuse my tutting, into waving and like all these animations and like robotics and still be dope. Like, cause I saw Tetris, like he's fusing tutting with waving and gliding. That's super sick. Like I never seen anyone do that. And then seeing Pop and Todd do like robotics and waving, like you can just do whatever you want to do and still be really dope. So once I left LA, I was like, okay, I'm going to change my style. So I went straight to like tutting, just mostly focused on tutting and just like in textures and just being more illusional than ever. Yeah.
So just to go into certain points of what you say. So who was the first person that you saw doing that?
Uh, it was the first person I saw. Like, there's a guy named Nori. It was like in my liquid dance like group. He is very like he's not an active, but he was tutting. He was doing kind of Mr. Wiggles like outside tuts, kind of mystery. Uh, he was doing like he showed me a little tutting. But the first guy I ever saw like do crazy tuts was Geometric at that first time I saw the big circle dancers. He was there and he was doing finger tutting. I've never seen finger tutting. He was like doing like these ones a lot. And that shit blew my mind away. Like, what? Where does this shit come from? This is unbelievable. And this is like I said, this is like 2005, 2004. And he was calling it finger boxes, and he got it from Bionic, and he said that, like people in LA were doing it. And I've seen digits too. Like I've seen like people do this, and like I know there's like a whole digits community, and like I knew about digits, but I just saw Geo do the finger tutting was just incredible, and that's the first guy I saw really do tutting. Yeah,
That's really dope.
yeah.
So you started with liquid, then popping, and then you start digging into tuts. That's right.
Yeah, it was liquid, a little bit of like tutting, just sprinkle on top of liquid dancing, and then like it was popping and tutting, and then it was strictly just like tutting and like mechanics and like waving.
So who are your inspirations in tut when you started and now?
Okay, so my inspiration for tuts when I started was Geo, Sam, Sean. This is the guys in my crew back then in Seattle, my design. These were like my heroes because I looked up to them. I was like the little guy. They're a little bit older than me. I had a fake ID, so I just like would follow them everywhere, and they would show me concepts. Tetris for sure. Cause there's only like little videos of him, you know, on like the internet, but I just would watch him. And there's some secret battle footage that my friend had, so we would watch it, you know, a handful of times to see like how he does things. Mr. Ree was one of them. Junior Boogaloo, Confusion. There's little clips of Confusion. It's because there was Tetris and Confusion. They were the architects back then, or no, the technicians. I don't remember. They're like a duo, and then they were like they were just they were like the top dogs of tutting back then. There's Drew, Jigsaw. So Drew is Graph. So Graph, Jigsaw. That's all I could think of right now. Yeah.
And now, does it change, or you still look out for the same people?
I look up to Steen, like Steen, Ryan, Future, the Moonrunners. I look up the Flexers and Turfers. Like Intricate is incredible, and like Strobe. I love all the young gen or the generation that's, you know, above me. They really inspire me. I'm like, I don't know. It's just kind of like it's kind of a breath of fresh air, you know, to see what they're doing, and I love their music too. And so like, and there's so many tutters now. I'm just like, I can't see all of them, you know. So I know there's more. There's like there has to be. It's just its own scene now. Like I just can't believe it, you know. But yeah, that's so like yeah, Ryan's, Steen, the Moonrunners, then we got Tetris, and all the new school like Intricate and Strobe.
So related to that, do you think that tutting is now a style on its own, or a technique that is part of many dances?
Yeah, I really do think it's a style its own. It's really like kind of because when I first started it, I thought it was an umbrella term for popping. You know, but once like, it's incredible. It's so weird that like I thought it was a popping style, and like, but it kind of like branched off because I see these other dancers, and I'm like, I don't think they ever heard of popping or know what is popping, you know, but they're just like straight up doing tuts. And but what's weird because tutting, like, because when you know flexing is connecting has its own history, and like turfing has its own history of tutting, and like popping has its own history, and then you got the Oakland Boogaloo has its own history with tutting with Egyptians. They said they called it back then. I got this from Ryan Future, and so like it's hard to like pimp. Like I guess you'd have to be like really open and like be like, okay, this is where all it comes from, and now it's like it's its own thing now. So I guess we're really at an early stages of the style, you know. It's like it's a really awesome time to be living in this, you know, time, and like having you doing all the you know interviews. It's really helping, you know, because it's you're kind of bridging the gap right now. So like get all the corners from all the world that people are tutting, and now you're kind of like bridging the gap, which is pretty cool.
Thanks a lot.
Because
Thanks
like
a lot. Huh?
we don't know where it comes from yet. Sorry to cut you off, but we don't even know where it comes from. You know, we know that like it's like I guess like the discovery of like the King Tut. You know, that was like the explosion of the like the fan like the popularity of like the King Tut tune being discovered. That's where you know where like this name comes from. So I guess the Boogaloos were saying that like they were doing it before that and calling it Egyptians, but I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, there is many versions of that. I don't want to
Yeah,
tell that there is one truth, because everyone gonna give his opinion. You know, that's what is the interview about. Because I'm gonna have some OGs too, and I know their version gonna be different. So I want everybody to can look at it and make their own opinion of it. You know.
absolutely. Yeah.
And what made you fall in love with Tuts? Like, what made you say like, I gonna do this style 100, and I gonna dig in it?
Um, yeah, it's kind of a good question. Yeah, because it's kind of a love and hate relationship because um when I first fully loved when I first saw popping, you know, those guys, and I was like 100% in it. I was doing it at school. I was doing it in. So this is like 2005, 2006. I was doing it like all day long. I was in school, in class, like doing finger tuts. I was like practicing my finger tutting, this is before I call it finger dots, just call them finger boxes, and people were calling me, were like, you're a weirdo, you're a nerd, you're like a tutter, because tutting had a bad rep back then in popping, and because people thought it was like a really like a stupid gimmick, and so we get made fun of. But I was just still into it. I don't really care because it was super cool. And then yeah, I was obsessed. I was definitely obsessed with it for I don't know many years. I mean, I would just be like shutting myself in a room for like 4 hours and like finding new concepts. The thing is, like, I wasn't dancing. I was just more like finding new shapes and concepts and like sharing it with like Sam and Gio and be like, check out this new concept. Will we go to the clubs and like all night long we'll just share concepts instead of like ciphering? We'll be like, I mean, we'll be dancing and stuff, but like more so we're like, here, I got this new trick. Here, I got this new puzzle. I got this new like shape, So it was fun. And then in 2010, 2009, uh, I left Seattle and I started moving around the U.S. and I started discovering that like I just started meeting other dancers and they're just like, hey, you're not moving your feet, you're not breathing, you're not like really dancing. You got to learn how to be on beat. I was like, what? There's all these other things I need to learn. And so like that's when I started fusing dance with with tutting. So like, and so that's another like thing that opened up for me was like, okay, you gotta learn, you gotta fuse this shapes that you have and put it into your dance. And so that was like another like a level up. I'm like, oh, I gotta discover ways to move with my tuts. And then I started discovering other dance styles, and like that kind of started like I put the tutty in the back burner and started learning how to actually like dance. So I started getting into house dancing. I started getting into hip hop. I started getting more into popping and how to move like the groove. And then I put back tutting into the works with it. And now I'm just like kind of like all over the place. I'm not sure what I wanted. I'm like kind of like rediscovering myself now. I don't know what I'm doing with my tuts right now. So yeah, it's just kind of it's a journey. It's a love and hate journey. Yeah.
Okay, that's really interesting. And when you lab, when you like creating and fighting concepts, how do you work on it? What is your way of thinking about it?
Um, when I lab, it's a good question because I know everyone like labs differently. So like when I used to lab, it's like I said, it was like I was always searching for the shape. I was always like us just like stand around and like where does it go? Where can it go? Where the million possibilities you can go in this one area. And now I just kind of like I have to have a focus because I get too excited. I just kind of like freestyle dance all over the place. But so like I write something down, and be like, okay, I got to work on floor tuts. That's my main focus. I put it on the board, or like put it like in my phone, and like I always have to have a reminder, like, okay, you got to work on floor tuts. So I kind of have like a goal, and that's how I do.
So you would say that now you're more organized than before in your way of training?
More organized. I think I'm more. Good question. I think I am more efficient. I think because I think since I'm more of a better dancer than I was more of like I don't want to call it like tutting is a dance, but more so like this guy was a non-dancer, and then I feel like I'm more mature. That's what I want to say.
That's really interesting. And talking about that, like for example, if we got a tearing battle and you're judging, what will you be judging? Like what will you be looking at?
Okay, so if I was judging, I'd be looking at originality. If you're dancing to music, if you're using your space, so like inward tuts inside, outward tuts, level changes, body changes. If you go to the floor, great. But really, it's like how can you dance well to the music? That's like I think like and how can you utilize the music with your tuts? That's like the thing. And also like if it's a battle, like you gotta like bring it out and like go against the person too. Yeah.
I know that's kind of a problem for the new generation because
Right.
no generation in Tutting. Um, so what would be your advice for the people who like dig deep in tuts and have like many concepts and way of doing tuts? Like I'm thinking, for example, about the Indian community, but they don't really have the information to make it alive, to make it dense. So what would be your advice to those kind of people that work just on shapes and
Yeah.
grade this?
This is a good conversation too, because this is a new generation, you know, because like we don't live like this is a new dance and a new generation. Maybe it's like it's the battle thing could I don't know, maybe the battle thing is could be like it's more maybe it's more of a showcase now style of dance, you know, instead of like battle. But I'm not sure. It's a good question. Um, oh man, it's just like it's this is kind of hard because hmm, that is a good question because this new dance style this it's man I don't know. It's a good question. What do you think? If it might,
Me personally, I think it's about, as you said, musicality and energies. Like
yeah.
a lot of people are staying in the same line of energy and speed of rhythm, and
Hmm.
they stay really basic in it, even if they dig deep into fixed points and maybe flexibility and things. There is like this animosity, this energy coming from the heart that is
Yeah.
missing a little bit. Like maybe doing some things less difficult and more filled, you know?
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah,
That's
yeah,
what
yeah.
I think about.
Yeah. It's hard because like, you know, like it's I think because like with it's amazing how like how advanced they are with the shapes and like how passionate they are. But if they can see the culture where it can, like if they went to if like we can go to there and share their knowledge and what knowledge we got, that would be incredible. I think that could be like an inspiration, motivation for you know for that scene. I think it's just they need a little like an essence of like or a dancer to be like, hey, this is how like we can do it. Hey, this is how this person can do it. I think they just need a group of dancers, tutters, you know, and show like different flavors, you know, and like they can probably branch out, you know. It'd be kind of a cool project.
Yeah, for sure. That would be really dope. I love those kind of countries that are like developing communities. I
Absolutely.
mean, I'm trying to develop a worldwide community, but it's even better if every country like organize themselves, like to bring some people and give classes and everything. I'm seeing like Peru is like going good now. Brazil too. Zambia have a lot of theaters too.
Oh
So
wow.
things is developing worldwide. It's really cool. So talking about that, what is the difference in the Tutting movement, the Tutting culture since you started and now? How do you think it had evolved, and how do you think it, in which way it have to go to become bigger?
Hmm. Well, it's all because well, it's incredible how fast it's moved. You know, like everyone, it's like it's from like the '80s to '90s. How like you know everyone's like working on the outside, like doing the shapes, the outside angle shapes, boom, boom, and then it, like the '90s went to inner, you know, and then like the 2000s, like it went more complex, and there's like became like a sick style, and then like now it's become its own style. It's like the internet's really like made everyone so advanced so fast. But it's funny because I think with since how fast it grew, the I think the feeling and the essence and like this the style kind of went downhill as well. So like the complexity went up, the style started going down. Like people are starting to look alike too, you know. And it's like okay, everyone looks kind of looks the same a little bit, and so like it's like it's like a double-edged sword, you know. Like you're really complex and it's super advanced, and also but you're like you're not you look like everyone else, you know. but there's some gems, there's like amazing dancers that like, that spawn out of it. They kind of understand it, and then they're like they're probably like, like I don't like I see like I look at all the turfers and the flexors. I was just like, wow, like these guys are so advanced. They're so underrated too. Why aren't they like instructor Soleil or like killing it in battles in Europe or something? It's just insane. I don't know, but yeah, I just it's that's my answer. Yeah.
That's really interesting because depending on the country you go, like the way of judging battles is so different, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Because all the dancers from US that have came to Europe, have been a really hard journey from them. I'm talking about turfers and flexors, you know?
Yeah.
People recognize their skills and say it's really dope, but they don't make them win because here is like all about the groove. They don't look about nothing but this, you know. They EBs and Elite Force brainwash, you know. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
saying those cool or bad, but they see only this, you know. And so when they came out with those unique styles and a lot of concepts, people are like, "Oh, you're good. That's good technique, but you're not dancing. You're not killing beat. You're not grooving." And that's why it's really hard. Like they kill it on their side of the world, and I feel
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people get inspired by them. Like as you said, a lot of people even dance like them.
Yeah.
They don't have the recognition into the battle underground scene, and that's kind of weird, and that's kind of the struggle of tutting in general too, I think, because a lot of tutters got millions view, got recognized. Even from my side in France, at least, I see a lot of popping dancers and hip hop dancers, including a lot more lines and tuts than before.
Mm-hmm.
But when you do straight tutting, they don't recognize it as just constrictions into tutting or into popping. Like, and as you said, is a new dance, so I think we have to make our way. And as I like to say, sometimes I like to compare tutting with b-boying, because
Mm-hmm.
we have to know our shapes so well before we can start playing with them. In the meaning, like for example, a b-boy cannot start doing variations of a wine mile, like rhythm or moves, before he know how to do the wine mile so perfect, you know.
Right.
And I think it's like kind of the same with tutting. Like some people have to learn their shapes so well, like so mechanically, so then they can start playing with it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
like,
Absolutely.
like we knew we're still on that way, like people are still like doing muscle memory. But I think like if we keep it like that in 2 or 3 years, those same people gonna have the ability to play with it, and I think it's gonna explode.
Yeah, I think so too. You know what's crazy back in 2009 and 10, I thought Tutty was gonna die. I thought it was gonna be a dead style because it was it to me was like there it was just like too complex. There was too intricate. There's too many like lines. There was not like it was. I didn't think it was gonna go anywhere. And now like it's like whoa. It's just like it's the biggest dance style ever. Like it's like the biggest street dance style. I feel like it's the fastest growing. Like it's just really awesome to see that. It's just and getting people so connected too. I think in the next like yeah 3 or 4 or 5 years, like, especially when people putting like floor work tuts, seeing like some guys do, it's just gonna be. I think it's gonna change like how a lot of dancers dance too. It's gonna like really it's changing everything really. And yeah, I don't know. I think it's gonna have its own like events too. Like there's gonna be tutting only events. So that's just my theory.
I hope so too. I mean, we push in that way, so because I feel like a lot of terrorists don't express themselves fully too, because
Hmm.
a lot of people like keep telling them what we tell before, like you're not dancing, that's just technique. So they start to incorporate things that they don't work a lot on. They don't express themselves fully on what they're good at.
Yeah.
And as Crawler said, Crawler is telling us right now. He said, "Cali saved Tutting. We saved Tutting." It's kind of right. Like they make it re alive, like with
Yeah.
that tangle bots and everything.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Cali, like, because I know like with like the LA, like with like Tetris and Confusion, and then I know like the Bay Area, and like for sure. Yeah. I mean, for sure, for sure.
And what kind of work you most enjoy doing? It is like teaching, battling, like creating art pieces. Like what make you feel more alive?
Hmm. I think sharing. I think like being with a group of dancers and like that's like not in my city, like in like their city, and sharing ideas. I think that's the best thing in the world. Being connected in the same scene, being with people that like are not they're not my that I don't know who they are, or maybe I've know who they are through like the internet or like watching their videos, and then like connecting with them and just going deep with like knowledge sharing and like and sharing our passion together, and then sharing the dance. That's like my favorite part ever. Yeah, I think the battling is like cool to see. Teaching is incredible. I love doing that too. But I just love the share, just the just connecting with the communities and the scenes. That's my favorite.
That's really dope. And how to say that? How do you feel about the fact of being able to inspire people now in touch? Because your name, I've came back in a few interviews, for example, with IC that told that you inspire him for 3D touch. Steen told about you too. Like, how
Hmm.
do you feel about the fact of being able to inspire people?
Yeah, it's a weird feeling, uh, but it's also I'm really grateful, especially coming from like I look up to Steen. Steen's like with his dance and his like history of his dance too, like where he went through with like theater shows and his concepts and like up and just who he is in person. He's an incredible person. And then like I see like what an incredible dancer and amazing person and a good friend. It's a crazy feeling because I'm just a guy who's from not from Cali, from Seattle, and I live in Portland, Oregon, which is in between Washington and California. But it's and I'm not like like a worldwide, I'm not like an international traveling dancer who's like been in Japan multiple times winning battles. So it's an incredible feeling. Like I'm grateful. Like I'm actually like my work is is affecting people, and that makes me happy. It makes me want to like do more work, and I plan on doing more. It pushes me, and yeah, that's all I can say.
That's really dope. And I just want to make a hat for you. Haikon have been sharing concepts every day during the quarantine. He
Yeah,
made 50 videos, if I'm not wrong.
it was 30 videos.
Oh, sorry, 30 videos. That's a lot. So you got a concept every day that you can learn and you can donate. You got all the information behind the video, so you can learn and support him. You got a lot of great concepts that you can learn. So really shout out to you, bro.
Yeah,
So you
thanks, man.
can go and follow him. And related to what you enjoy, what will be your dream project in dance?
Well, yeah. So I'm a filmmaker. So I've been doing films for quite some time, and I do documentary work, and I've been working on. So my passion in life is doing dance film documentaries. I've been working on a project with Frantic for I think it's been like 4 years now. We're almost done. Like I'm just working on like the animations on it. We're doing like watercolor animation, but I would like to do dance documentaries and like put the limelight for all the OGs or the dancers that don't get shine as much shine. So be like Steen, for instance, David Frost, like the people that deserve the shine, you know. So that's my goal and passion.
That's really, really dope. I hope that we will see a Tutting documentary one day.
Yeah, let's do it.
That would be dope because, as a lot of people say, there is a lack of information about the history of Tet, you know, because it
Yeah,
came from so many different styles, even from voguing. So it's really difficult to have all the information.
absolutely. Yeah.
So, what your favorite memory about dancing?
My favorite memory of dancing. Oof. Well, I think. Well, my favorite memory of dancing. Fuck, it's just there's so many. Um, I think that my favorite memory is seeing like my story where like I saw the circle of dancers when I first started, and like that impacted me. It changed my life seeing that circle, the cipher of the poppers. That was just like the whole that changed my life. You know, like I don't know where I would be without that circle. Like because you know I was into raves, I was into like the nightlife culture. I was staying up all night. I was only 14, 15 years old as a young kid and like sneaking out of my parents' house. If it wasn't for that circle, I don't know where I'd be at right now, you know? And so that circle introduced me to a whole community and a whole universe of street dance culture. And so it made just me to new friends, maybe move to Portland, Oregon, maybe do all these things. Without that circle, I don't know where I'd be. So, and also like, uh, just I think like doing um, yeah, I think another one was meeting Mikey Disco. He's like a you know who Mikey Disco is?
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Hip hop dancer. He's also from the area. Just him like teaching me how to move my feet. Like he was like, you don't breathe, you can't move your feet. You're not dancing. So like that always like is embedded in my head. Like okay, you got to move your feet. You know. And then um, this I think just like also like being on stage, dancing with like major artists too, like with Thriftworks. I danced with Thriftworks with like with Pop and Top with like
Woo.
thousands of people, you know, in front of thousands of people at sunrise. That was like pretty magical. But yeah, it's I got plenty, but those are the three I think for now. Yeah.
That's really dope and inspiring. That's crazy how one moment can change all your life. And that's
Yeah.
inspiring how dance can change lives for. And thanks to deliver this message. And Thrift Works, that's amazing, bro. I can't stop training to this guy's music.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
Yeah, he actually
really
lives here. He lives here in Portland, Oregon. I'm not really
real.
friends I don't really I'm not really friends with him, but yeah, he lives in Portland, Oregon now. Like he was originally from California, but I think he moved here. Um,
Shout out
and
to him. His music is amazing.
yeah, yeah, he's pretty dope.
So, do you have things outside dance that inspire you for dance?
Yeah, yeah. I there's a moment of like in college, 2008, 2007, where I was looking up Picasso. I was looking at surrealism art, you know, and like cubism. I even did a project on cubism. And so like his Picasso's art was really inspiring me. Like it was, I was trying to be like, you know, I was young. It's like I need some inspiration from art, so I'm gonna look check it, and like it really inspired me. Like his concepts and like his emotion, like keep and like how like he was so complex at first, and then became very much. It was more. It's complex, but it became more simple. And so that was like cool. It was like okay, I'm working on like being complex and simple. I'm gonna go from like complex to being simple to being complex. So it's like I worked on a lot of like how to like go from big and small. So like for instance, be like small to big to out and boom, ga, and then they go back again. So I was working on a lot of that too. So like if it wasn't Picasso and Cubism, I wouldn't figure that out, you know. So yes, art definitely did that, and like music. I think like if it wasn't for like like glitch music in 2007, 2008, 2009, like Glitch Mob, like Edit, you know, Thriftworks, uh, experimental IDM music like Aphex Twin and like Square Pusher. If it wasn't for that music, I would not be so original and like had so much texture and tension with my tuts and waves and be so experimental. So yeah, so music, art, and I think like even meeting people, you know, and like hearing their story and like I think that also like inspires me, you know, to like seeing like the OGs, you know, and like the because I went to the Oakland Boogaloo barbecue, and it was like seeing those people in person. I was like, it just like shook my heart, man. Like seeing these like older guys really get down. I'm like, that's just affecting my dance, you know, and seeing them in person was just incredible. Yeah,
Yeah, they're really amazing. I've been looking for the popping barbecues all my life too, bro. Like, and I feel like, for example, if you look at Harry Berry, he got some mad
yeah,
concepts on the floor, some
hmm
touch behind the back, and that's some people that we don't even know in Tutting culture, you know, if we don't dig deep in it, you know.
yeah.
So you're very lucky to be near them and have the chance to have the opportunity to go to those events. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, when I used to live in San Francisco, I would see Harry Berry street perform on a daily. Yeah, he would like trade off with like the turfers too. I wasn't really into turfing or knew about much about turfing, but it was like it was like remember Retro? That guy
Yeah,
Retro?
yeah,
Yeah.
American.
I don't know where he's at now, but like he would like trade it off with his group with Harry Berry at the I think it was on Market Street, and then it was cool to see that. I was like, wow, who are these guys? And there's Harry Berry, you know, in a silver suit. It was cool. Yeah, it was really neat to see that.
Yeah, I feel like U.S. culture of dancing is so huge. Like, I don't know what you feel about it, but I feel like you guys grew up with it. Like, how present is the dance culture in the U.S., do you think?
You know, it went through waves. Honestly, I think like there was a moment where popping died. I feel like in um like the early like 2010, 2011, 2012, 13. I don't know, like that time, the early 2010s, I really like LA was like not cool to go anymore. Like I didn't want to go to LA anymore. I was like, fuck no, I don't want to go to LA. There's no scene. Um, I think a lot of the international, like the big poppers and dancers were like traveling more. And yeah, I don't know, it was not cool to go there. And then like I was in the, I knew the Bay Area was cool. I like this, so I stuck around the Bay Area a lot more. But yeah, right now I feel like LA is like like the dopest dancing in like the US. I don't know how New York is. I haven't been in New York in a minute, but like it's just so sick, dude. Like everyone's so original, man. Like it's really dope to see like because I feel like they're on a tip where like they don't have to listen to the OGs, you know, and then it kind of everyone's fusing things and everyone's like trying to look really like original, unique, and I think that's coming back now is the uniqueness, originality, and they're kind of pushing that forward, you know. So it's really cool. Um, and and then especially here in like in Portland too. When I first went to Portland, it was like there was no dancing. It was like, what am I doing here in the city, man? And now like there's such amazing dancers here. I'm really blessed to live here, and it's just like all these young kids are like, I have to catch up to them, you know. It's like that. That's how good they are. So it's a really good time to live here in the U.S. I feel like, and I feel like the U.S. is because I know that France and Japan, Korea, and like most of Europe is like really on the top right now. But I really think that the U.S. is gonna do a turnaround and come back up, you know, and like I think it's we're kind of like underrated right now.
I feel you 100. I mean, in LA, I have the chance to train with ISO and DSO. It was really amazing.
Oh,
But
dope.
when I went to New York, I had the chance to meet like a big part of the flexing scene, And bro, I was looking at footage of them that was from 2005, something like this, maybe
Mm-hmm.
2007, and I was like, even today, no one have made such concepts, you know? And you guys
Yeah.
are so fucking underrated, bro. Like even nowadays, I'm still discovering like random New York guys that are so fucking amazing at touch,
Yeah.
bro. Like I'm like, what the fuck, bro? Are those guys born like doing boxes or like
Yeah. Right.
connecting, you know? But
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like you guys always flip the switch in terms of originality of dancing. I mean, you guys look at Europe and Asia like we are really active. That's right. We got a lot of events and all, but there is not a lot of concepts in the events. Like events are always the same, like popping, hip hop, locking, house, b-boy, and now
Mm-hmm.
crump is going up. But all the other styles are taken apart, bro. It's like they only can express into old style scene, and even in the US you can come out some in some events with your own music and things, and I feel like we catching to you every time. Like nowadays Europe and Asia are good, but we good based on developing a dance that came from US, from Bay Area and California, basically, you know.
Yeah.
Like we ain't created nothing. We just developed some material that some guys came and gave us, you know. But even if you look at the
Yeah.
these from France like Smiley, Iron Mike, those kind of people, before the EBs came to France, they got like really unique styles, and
Oh wow.
then they switched to EBs and never came back to their robotic ticking and like strobing. That they never came back to this, and I think that's kind of a shame. And we talked with Future too about this. Like I don't know how you feel about it, but popping nowadays is not as inclusive as it was before. Like today, you really have to be into certain codes of dancing to be considered a popper,
Yeah.
and back then maybe just mastering one technique of what popping was, like one technique of the umbrella term,
Yep.
without being forced to contract every time, you were still considered a popper.
Yeah. I'm totally with Future. It's like it's the EBs kind of like basically it just they they kind of brainwashed and like stole the essence of originality kind of, and like it was the way of like more like uh because yeah, it's just the EBs kind of like flung in. They market themselves, and this is the way it's done. And like they wanted to do this because I feel like they wanted to like market themselves and make money, you know, and kind of start doing something, you know. And and so and what was I supposed to say? Shoot, it because you know with like the Oakland with Boogaloo's, you know, they like was super original. Everyone was doing their unique thing. Everyone was just getting down, dude. It was like everyone was super original, even with like pop locking too. You know, like I feel like everyone was super original, and so yeah, it's like the originality kind of like uh kind of just like was stolen, you know. And so right now I feel like there's like another renaissance happening within like with the culture where like everyone's being original again, like with flexing everyone's super original, with turfing everyone's super original, Memphis jerking everyone's super original, and like with tutting it's like everyone's being like I think it's rediscovering themselves again, you know. I don't know if I'm going on a tangent, I'm sorry. But
No, it was
yeah.
about the popping scene not being as inclusive as it was before. Like now you really have to be in certain codes. Like, do you feel like before, if you do just tuts, you were considered popper, or you have to be in the EBIT format already before?
um shoot So when you be like inclusive, like you got to be like start out as the EB popper and then branch out. Is that what you mean?
When I mean
It's like
inclusive, is that like you can be like really good at waves and still consider a popper. You don't have to do twist or flex to be a popper.
right.
You know what
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean?
yeah. Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, yeah. It's that's what sucks because like what's what young people get into is like the cool stuff, like the illusions of like waving and then with tutting and stuff, and they discover it, and they're like, you got this one big guy who's like the EB, be like, hey, that's not popping. You got to do our way, you know. So it's like super unfair, and that's what kills the dance, you know, and like kills the energy of it too. And I feel like that's kind of what stalls the style and the movement of popping, you know, is that you can't just tell a young person like stop doing what they're doing, you know. You got to tell them like, hey, that's actually really cool. Keep doing it that way, you know. That is popping, you know.
For sure. That's a really dope message. Um, we almost at the end of the interview, so if somebody got questions, just write them in the comments. So, did you get some teachers that you want to shout out, and do you have some students?
I want to give a because I feel like I haven't talked enough about moonrunners. I just want to give a shout out to moonrunners because they yeah, they're like my friends, and then they also are part of my journey too. You know, like meeting them and seeing them. Um, if because like I know like when I know like Icy hit me up when he first like discovered me in 2008, 2007. And I'm like, cool. And then I saw like who is he with? That was really dope. And then meeting them in Toronto at their event, Area 51, was really like life changing. So like, shout out to them. You know, they really like inspired me a lot. And so I want to give. I didn't feel like at the time to talk to them enough about them. So yeah, I want to give a shout out to them, and um, I want to give a shout out to like Pop and Todd. He's the one who kind of like first introduced me to like being original with popping, because he like was living in Montana, which is next to Washington. He like drove through Washington and stayed in Seattle a little bit. And when I first saw Todd, I thought he was an EB dancer. Well, before I met Todd, I thought he was an EB dancer because he like came out the ABM DVD with J Rock, and he was really dope. And then he came through our practice session, and he was doing like robots, like like a mechanical robot with waving, and it was like the coolest thing ever. I was like, wow, that's really neat. Like I thought you were an EB dancer, so that's like that right there changed my life. You know, just seeing like you can do whatever you want to do. You know, um, and also I want to like shout out to my mentor and friend Donna, who lives here in Portland. If it wasn't for Donna, I would not be so like open to dance and like so uh, be so where I'm at right now with my dance. I feel like I'm more of a dancer and more of a I feel like I'm more expressive and more open with my dance, and she really helped me out a lot. And also like shout out to the Bay Area and like to LA and for my journey because there's too many to name, but like they helped me out with my journey too, So yeah, and then shout out to Steen, like he always inspires me, because like when I grew up, I want to be just like Steen, like he just, he's this older guy who's traveling, loves his dance so much in his community and does so much and does theater. Like that's the coolest thing ever. I don't know, like just like that guy when I grew up. Shout out to Assassins too, like Rashad and Future. Like I looked at those guys when I was younger too. They were definitely like they definitely helped me out and my journey. I actually took a private with Future too. With we went over some tuts and he definitely like opened me up a lot too. Um, yeah, students. Like I never had like I have like my friends in my community, and I don't want to call them students, but like they're like my people, and I want to they like I want to share whatever I got to them, and like and love and help them out and like, encourage them, and also to like anybody that hits me up, like if they need help, whatever, I will love to help people too. And I hope to one day travel more and help people too.
That's really dope. And talking about Steen and stages, I know that now you got a company.
Sorry.
Now you got a company, that's right?
Company like a dance company.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so I'm part of like a contemporary site-specific dance company. That's right. I always forget to tell people that. But yeah, we do. Yeah, so it's based out of LA, and there's a sister company here in Portland. And I've been with that company for 5, 6 years now. And site specific is more like it's not your normal dance theater show. You don't go to a theater and watch, a dance group like dance on stage. This is more like you go to like an abandoned warehouse or a laundromat or like a lumber mill and you see performers dance at these kind of environments and takes you on a journey. So that's what I do with them.
Okay,
Yeah.
the concept must be interesting to see. So what would be your advice for someone who wants to start tutting like today after the interview?
What? Say that question again. Sorry.
What would be your advice for someone who wants to start tutting like today after seeing the interview?
Oh, nice, nice. Um, Damn. I would suggest, um, wow, I don't know. It's like, where do you go now? Like, because with the internet, like when you type in tutting, like, who do you know? You got to know who to follow, like, who are the right people, right? Because there's so many tutters out there. Like, who are the ones with history, right? Who's the one that's been doing it for so long and has been respected and yet like has all the knowledge. That's like your goal is to like seek them out. Like, like you got to know who Junior Boogle is. You got to know who Mystery is. You got to know who Mr. Wiggles is. Like, I think about your journey is to start where like, who are the pioneers, and then the rabbit hole will like unveil, itself from there. So like, find out who your pioneers and your legends are, and see how they dance, and then let it travel through there from there.
That's dope. I
Yeah,
really want to find the contact of Mr. Ray, bro. I cannot find that guy.
who?
Mr. Ray.
Mr. Ree, yeah, Mr. Ree.
It's
Yeah,
really,
I wonder how's he doing. Yeah,
it's
I
really hard to find him. I really want to interview him. He's really dope. And now, just last thing to finish. Um, what would be your message, like for dancers or for people? Like, what message you want to deliver?
uh my message to deliver is, like I see Erica Mary posting commenting on here is she's right. Like we gotta like know where the dance comes from. And so like I'm a white man, doing a black dance style, and I just want people to know that like this is the black dance, and then like we all need to like respect and know that like this comes from, and then like I have to really show and respect that and tell people, hey, this is not my dance. It never doesn't come. I've got to remind myself this is a black dance. And so like anybody's from like all over the world like hears this is like it's like I just need to remind people that and need to remind myself that too. So yeah. And also like it's this dance is sometimes with like tutting and this online dance thing, it's becoming too serious, it's becoming like more competitive and more like this online dance thing battle thing is really cool. I think it really brings us together, and it's dance again, having fun again because I have like competition. I don't want to have to worry about like things that are like to get better. It's just like I feel like I just need to remind people like, hey, it's just fun, just have fun and like just enjoy the music and like really love the music and dance the music that you love to dance to, you know?
Thanks for this message, bro. The live is about to cut because it's been
Yeah.
1 hour already. Thanks a lot for this knowledge. As you say, we're
Yeah,
gonna keep from black people and don't forget Latino people too, because we were there too, and we
that's
are
right.
as opposed as them. So we are together in that fight. And thanks a lot for
Absolutely.
this message. It's gonna be online on YouTube. I think it's gonna be online on your page too. All of them are available on your page. Thanks a lot for this help. It means a lot from me. And thanks for accepting this invitation, bro. It's been an honor and hope to meet you one day.
as well, man. Hope to meet you too, man.
Peace out.
Much love.